everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Saturday night. Hope everyone is doing well. And welcome our special guest, Heidi Vandenberg. How are you, Heidi?
I'm great, Wayne. How are you?
Oh, I'm excited to have you on.
I
It's
know.
like you are everywhere out there now. And I'm going, well, maybe she'll come back. I mean, so
I love coming on here. I
Well,
love,
we
yeah.
love having you. So we've got the room filling up already. So how's your world these days? I haven't seen you since we did our New Year's Eve show.
No, I've been really busy. Work's been good. This job and the other job. So real estate seems to be picking up because interest rates are rising. So that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Struggling with the weather here because it changes on a daily basis.
Cold? Is it cold or hot now?
Well, today was fine, but um, last week it went from about 30 degrees, snowing, snowstorm where you couldn't even walk outside until 8 o'clock or until 80 degrees, like 70 degrees. Nice the next
Wow.
day. It was really weird. It's kind of scary. So,
Well, we are sitting here in the Colorado Front Range, and we are finally getting our first major snowstorm coming in. So we're going to be sending you a little present later the week.
oh, great.
I
Hey.
just don't know if it's going to be cold or if it's going to be rain. So, um,
Yeah.
well, excellent, excellent. By the way, to digress on the point that you just made about the weather, I am still convinced that I think we are seriously in this midst of a magnetic pole flip. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we could ever look on the cards on that, but anyway,
Well, we could, but that's definitely tougher because since it's really hard with the times and to do
true.
with accuracy, you have to have that time. Um,
All right, hold on one second. I don't know who this person is, but I'm going to tell you what. Ban this GRIS Stone guys in the moderators,
yeah.
and I'm just
I
going
have
to
a lot of trolls now.
yeah, I'm just going to tell you this straight up. I don't tolerate that nonsense, and if that's where your IQ is at, you can take it right out the door. And by the way, don't let the door hit you in the ass as you're walking out. Are you getting this? Because I won't tolerate it. You're going to respect everyone in here. And if you haven't learned that from your parents, then go back and start relearning. Bye bye. All right, Heidi, let's keep on right on going.
God, thanks, Wayne. That was beautiful, actually.
Well, listen, these are immature children walking in adult bodies. And at some point in time, uh, no, Gary, not timed out. Gary Baxter, I want him out. Ban him. Don't want him back in, period. So that's just it. We're going to have a level of modicum of respect in here. And Heidi, it's amazing. Why would someone want to attack you?
I don't know. There's something in the air because I actually have somebody that has made so many names that literally probably 25 names on different accounts that attacks me on every show. So I have like my friend who's the sheriff is tracking IP addresses and stuff because it's just what it is a distraction to me. And
Yeah,
now that more people are hearing me, I can't act out. So and I want to stay focused, so
sure you do.
just like it's just a big distraction. And so I made basically everybody a moderator on my channel. I figured more moderators, they'll
I
feel control.
love it. Oh, that's just cool. Hello, Valerie, Sam, Jason, Debbie, baby. How is everyone? Jason, good to see everyone tonight. Well, Heidi, I asked you on, we were just talking before, and we're living into some interesting times. And one of the things Trisha G and I were talking about was what do you see coming in March? Is there something that the world is going to be seeing? I just got the sense that there is a lot of background built up energy, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, this is going to be an interesting year. for the whole entire year, to be honest with you. So for there's a ton of different reasons, and it's not just me that's saying this. I mean,
Yeah,
all
no,
my people and astrologers, the people in numerology, the people that Cliff High, John Hogue. I mean, everybody has the same pattern. So there's something that's getting swapped around here, and
that's a good.
you
I
know,
like that. That's a good term.
something things are changing rapidly, and we're seeing it. People are dropping like flies. I mean, it's just it's good though. It's for personally, I think it's positive. It's for the better of society, humanity, because I do think it's going to really change people's opinions, and I think it's going to bring everybody together. I think it's really going to it's going to do more positivity than harm. But some people that are stuck in their ways, some people that are stuck in their thoughts, their beliefs, their ideas, that they're going to have their head spin. That's
Mhm.
kind of more of the, and to deal with that emotions, in my opinion, and me being a Scorpio rising sign and a Pisces moon, I'm all water, and I understand people's emotions, and I analyze people's emotions, thoughts, ideas, and this is my favorite thing to do. So when you know and can understand people's emotions and their triggers and their and what makes them tick, your emotions are really what controls everything in your. You could put on a facade for only
Sure.
so long. So when certain people's emotions get triggered, shooken up, that's when there's a lot of chaos. So when people are stuck in their beliefs, stuck in their ideas, and stuck in not adapting to change, change is it's like the number one scariest thing to people
Yeah.
than death and
Yeah.
public speaking. That's weird to
Isn't
me.
it?
Yeah, because I'm all about change, change it up every day. Like, I love change. So, but for some people that can't handle that, that's where we get stuck, you know?
When you were talking, I got this mental image of a washing machine. And the thing about it is, when you're doing it in the washing machine, it's agitating, right? But it's also cleansing. It's getting out the bad, what we would call the dirt. And you go through the spin cycle, it's chaos. But
Yeah.
at the end, you're clean. I don't know. That's what I was getting.
I like that. I really like, that's a great way to say it. And we have been living in a society where, we've been controlled. We've been
Hmm.
under the influence of, I say, Saturn, like our entire lives. I mean, we live in the system. We live in prison. Sorry. It's just, it's the
It
truth.
is. It is.
We live in a prison. We're working for them. You sign into your timesheets. It's Chronos. Interesting enough. When you're in the business world too, and I'm sure you can vouch and attest to this too, Wayne. I mean, you see so many weird correlations how this stuff really does play out. You're a savvy businessman. You always have been. And now that you're opened up and awakened to this stuff too, you're like, whoa, what's going on here? And you add these things up. It's like, really, they think they can get him over, and they put the subliminal hints out there to see if we'll catch it. It's like they test us.
Ooh, good, good. Because I want to expand on that point you just made there, Heidi. What I know now, there's a song by Small Faces. If I know, I wish I knew what I knew when I was older, what I knew now. And I got the lyrics backwards. But anyway, the point is this. I was blocked by a core mentality that I didn't look at anything to the occult. I didn't look at anything associated or branded with what we would call paganism.
Yeah.
What I didn't realize was that many of my competitors were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about the, if
Deception.
yeah, thank you.
Right? Yeah.
Like, yeah, if I had known this, seriously, do you know how much pain and suffering I could have saved my sorry butt?
Yeah.
Which is a
And
happy butt now, but I'm just saying.
I know it's amazing. I mean, I come from the same spectrum. Like, I was, if you're not aware that they use it and spin it, pretend like it's bad.
Yeah.
But they're practicing it. Of course. Why? Because they don't want everybody to know the secrets. This is like, think about this. A
Yeah.
smart person doesn't want people to know their secrets, because that's just how the world goes. So why would they tell people all the secrets?
Well, and here's the thing. you said, and it's so accurate. Hello, Trisha G. I just want to thank all the Mercury Rise, all the moderators. I mean, so
All the Mercuries.
you got it going, man, right there. But the point is this, is that we are born into a prison, and it is a survival game. And how you come out at the end of the wash is really going to determine how I think the next step goes for you. But here's my point. So if wealth is basically an unbiased substance, I mean, I don't think wealth really cares who has it. You know, you, I, or somebody else. But it definitely seems like that those that have it don't want the others to get it.
Right.
What I have learned that from you, from Trisha, Jenny Moonstone, in which I definitely would like to get Jenny on here, is this. There is a knowledge that cannot be disputed that exists. Now, the Federal Reserve, oddly enough, do you know, Heidi, that in their quarterly governor meetings, do you know that many of those decisions are based upon the moon cycles? And they know, particularly if there is, for instance, a disruption coming to the electromagnetic field of the earth, that this is going to have a direct response with investors. Now, that to me is astrology, numerology. Am I wrong in the perception of that?
No, it for sure is. It's, numerology is just another tool for sure. But I do believe astrology is taking it to another level and that's why I do Vedic astrology. And I might have said this, so apologize me if I repeat it, but one of the reasons why I study Vedic astrology is because it's, people say the Western zodiac is the right way, blah, blah, blah. Well, I would never use the astrology system that the Westerners use, that the government uses, that they throw out in the newspaper. Why? Because why in the world would they give you the right one? Just think about this. They wouldn't. And if you take one of those star chart apps, like that you can download on your phone, the star chart, you can stick it in the sky right now and see that Saturn just went into Sagittarius. It's in the nakshatra of Mula, and it's not in Capricorn. Okay, K2's in Capricorn. The shadow of the nodes, the shadow of the moon, and which causes these eclipses. Okay, that's in Capricorn. So it kind of does feel a lot like Saturn. That would be in Capricorn. You can also see that right now the moon is in Aquarius, and it's in the nakshatra of Sastabisha, which is, healing with water and stuff like this. I'm pretty sure it's that one. I looked at it today. But you can track, and that's why I've studied these nakshatras, because I got so annoyed. What is right, Vedic way, Western way? I learned these nakshatras because they don't change, and they are ruled by they're the moon. They're the 27 nakshatras. They're the lunar mansion.
Yeah.
So that's what I use because I find it the most accurate. I can tell you the days I'm going to sell a house. I know the exact days based off of my nakshatras.
And isn't the moon in the hierarchy, as I have been learning, is even above the sun? Isn't it in some, am I wrong in that? Or?
So in Vedic astrology, they hold the moon to the highest level of importance. Like that is by far the most importance. Okay. So yes, your moon nakshatra is by far the most important. And I think that is really what kind of holds and even if the moon's man-made, I mean, regardless.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's there.
It's still there. They're still tracking things, with the moon. That I feel like in a way it's like a secret code that everybody uses, like the elites, to track things. And I could be crazy, but I know that they use it for a multitude of reasons because I have a lot of connections.
Can I say something to you on this? I've been wanting to say this. So how should I say this? I have been spoken to that the moon, the light that we get off the moon is not a normal light. Yes, we can explain it scientifically to the limited knowledge that we have. This is what they call is the reflection of the sun off the surface of the moon. But there is differences of light, Heidi, and there's different type of associations with light. Right. And in the case in this one, whether the moon is artificial, wherever it came from, it affects us and it exacts an influence on us, does it or does it not?
Absolutely. Yes, it's everything. Like everybody's emotions are from the moon, their moon sign, and how their moon is configured in their astrology chart is the moon. I listen to a police scanner all the time, and that might be a little extreme, but this is kind of how I learned to track transits, like global transits, with what is going on. So I have a police scanner, and I listen to my local police scanner just so I always know. Plus, you learn the codes, you learn who's out, you learn what to watch out for that day, and the patterns in these days when the moon is in certain nakshatras. It is profound. It is
Wow.
something that cannot be spoken for unless you listen to. This is what I do. Like, I'm a researcher. I track transits with real life events, not just study astrology books, because I believe, in my opinion, these books were written by ancients. So times have changed, things have shifted. There's a lot of different things now that they used to think were certain things that now you can take and interpret it in a new way, to the new age, to the new times. Okay. So what I've learned is that by testing this on people, thousands of people that I used to ask in the business world when I'm in business meetings, oh, do you know what time you're born? Oh, let me look at your chart, blah, blah, blah. This is what I used to do.
Uh-huh.
And then I would go home, be on my police scanner, listening to what's going on. Like, this is, just doing this investigation work. And it is just amazing what you can see with these patterns. When the moon is in certain nakshatras, what kind of drug overdoses happen, when the assaults happen, when the car accidents happen, and it never fails. The transits are all patterns. And you could probably ask any law enforcement officer, like, if you notice the trends of the night, they will. And the full moon, they always call for overtime. Eclipses, always overtime. 2 days after, because the full moon and stuff. I mean, it's amazing.
This is amazing. You know what? I'm getting this download. So, and I think it may be already being done, but we'll have to talk. Could you imagine writing an algorithm that would take in that data coming? Oh man, that's smart, girl. I see exactly why you're doing that.
And that's what I do with the Bitcoin. Okay. So once I found the dates, and this is, multitude of dates, I'm tracking, and this is great about Bitcoin because it's so real time and it's so fast.
Yeah.
So I'm tracking this Bitcoin and the cryptos, like the Litecoin and the Ethereum, with the different transits here on my software, because I have lifetime transits on my software that shows. So I have it to the charts all up all day. And I've picked out the 3 nakshatras that make it money. I know exactly which ones. I know when it's going to go up. And I've been testing it, but I had to wait until the moon got around to it. And once again, it's doing it again. So,
are you using a 28-day or 29? What's the cycle of that that we use on the moon for your tracking?
So the moon is, I use it in, okay, so I'll show you something real quick.
See, I'm learning, folks. I'm actually getting notes here.
Yeah, because it's kind of important to understand what I'm talking about when I talk about these nakshatras.
Because I have a question for you coming in. The next one would be, can we see what's coming? I mean, listen, we're in uncharted territory in so many different areas, but let's just look at Wall Street. I mean, we hit Dow 26,000.
Yeah.
This is I mean, so that's going to be my next question. Can we see maybe what's coming down? Are there some bumps? Everyone's talking about a potential correction, but there's no evidence of it.
I think that's the battle. It's almost, because it's interesting. The nakshatras that you can even see that are the enemies to the nakshatras that are the enemies to the cryptos are the nakshatras of government. Okay.
Ooh.
It's very interesting. You can see which ones are taking it down, which ones don't like it. And so it definitely is an anti-government force.
Is that a video game in the making? Hey, folks, listen, if you want entrepreneurial ideas, you need to be listening to our programs. If you're not subscribed to Heidi, you need to be. The same thing with Jenny and Trisha G, all the rest of them. But I'm telling you, Trisha, excuse me.
That's okay. You can call me Trisha.
No. I seen. I'm watching. That's why I shouldn't watch the chat room. Yeah, because you get distracted. My point to this, that would be a great video game. The cryptos against the govs.
It would. And it's really interesting because when I was tracking, when I bought Bitcoin, I was saying this to you earlier, I figured out what nakshatras make this thing money. Okay. So what I did was so I was thinking in my head that, okay, I'm going to buy it right. I bought it at the successful time. And not only that, unfortunately, the successful times for me making money are the same ones for the Bitcoin. So it's one of my nakshatras aligned to it, very much so. And so when I did it, basically I bought at the height because I realized, like, I was like, oh, this is going to be a good time. But because I'm not used to seeing like the actual time and the birth chart. Now, what I really needed to do was buy it before or after, right? And notice that it's going to drop and then it's going to hike back up these 3 different cycles. And, you know, it's just crazy. But
Is that what you're seeing in a long term in the next short future, that it's going to, I don't see anything stopping it until we start seeing potential legislation coming out of Congress that we begin to governing exactly what the rules are for the cryptocurrencies.
Well, apparently somebody doesn't like what I'm talking about because it's not letting me pull up a PowerPoint. That's really odd. Okay, so I know what I can show you at least. Let me
You see, folks, we're tapped into something.
Yeah, probably exactly we are. That's why it's not letting me.
And by the way, folks, you don't need tens of thousands of dollars. Most people do not realize that you can take small amounts of money and literally begin to get into these plays, and it doesn't take that much.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
I told if you can afford like to put at least $100 in something, why not? Even if it goes away, I mean, it's worth the risk. It's a risk that, you know, I can say, and I'm not really one of those risk takers when it comes to like the financial. I'm not a big gambler, or, you know, I always have to say, like, if I go to a casino or something and I win, I'm out of there. Like, I'm not somebody that's gonna, but I'm gonna hold on to this because this isn't something too that you buy and then once you make and double your money, you pull out real quick.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm the same way in a casino. If I go in, I will win when I first bet. My energy is drained. And then you're going to play the sucker bet because then you begin to think so. But while we're talking on cryptocurrencies, you know, another, what I see is the next true gold rush is the cannabis industry.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be bigger than the cryptos because the lessons that the feds have learned and the other states have learned from Colorado, from Washington, is that consumers prefer cannabis to many times to alcohol and to other things. And the next thing is it's a huge tax windfall for the states, and the federal government sees it as well. So can we see maybe the same thing with something in the cannabis industry?
Well, I haven't really like got into that so much, but I would say, I think there are certain things that contribute to the cannabis industry. Like charts I've noticed, like I notice it in people's charts who are the pot smokers or I can see that. And what kind of, you know, the drugs, like you can see what kind of drugs people are going to be doing. Is this person going to be the heroin person? Is it not like, you know, that's great, but you can see all these things. You can see who's going to have the tendencies to drink, smoke, you know, dabble in like, you know, just, you can really pay pills. So yeah, I think you could take that to a different way. But okay, so this is the best way to show this. Okay. This is the 12 zodiac signs. All right. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. And when you look at a Vedic astrology chart, basically you either start at, this is your first house. There's two different ways, North Indian and South Indian ways to read a chart. So this way, whatever's the ascendant, the natural zodiac, you know how the 12 signs go 1, 2, first is Aries, second is Taurus, 3. That's this. Okay. So, but as you see the nakshatras, the degrees are broken up. So for instance, in Aries, there's the nakshatra of Aswani, which is from 0 to 13, 20 degrees of Aries. Then you can see Barini, it's 1320 to 2640. Then there's Critica, which is 2640. And then it splits over to Critica. Critica is in two signs. Critica goes into Aries and part of Taurus. So and there's 4 padas in each nakshatra. Pada 1 and 2 is more of like the movers and shakers, the things that make more money. The 3rd and 4th are the spiritual liberations and the moksha ones that are more losses. So you have to look at each individual nakshatra, every pada. And as you see, this is kind of them. Sweeney, pada 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see the cycles. You can see this is Dr. Arjun Pai's Pi. It's like a Pi Diddy theory. It's this is what I track things with though, because this is what is profound. So each nakshatra has a ruler. So you have to look at these things, and each one has a pada. So the 3rd and 4th tend to be the more, charitable moksha ones. 1 and 2, it's money and people that are the go-getters. Not always, but sometimes.
Wow, this is like,
yeah,
I love this.
So that means in Aries, Ashwani, if you have a planet in Aries, Ashwani, in Aries, there are 4 different Ashwanis, okay? Then there's 4 different Barinis, and then there's 2. So there's 10 different types there's basically 10 types of Aries. That's why this is so exact. Now, there's this type of astrology that I'm using to track it. And I've learned this myself. So I learned from my own tracking transits. I make money in Mula Nakshatra. I make money when it's in Revati, which is my moon sign, because that's one of the luckiest, wealthiest nakshatras. And I also make money in Maga, which is my 10th house of career, real estate and sales. Every day I sell homes, it's on those 3 different nakshatras. I swear. Days I've won on a lottery, and when I hit the casino thing, when I just put money in it one time, it was the exact nakshatra. I have my transits out, and I have all this. So, and then it just so happened when I got this app and I saw which nakshatras for me are money, it's the exact 3 nakshatras that I figured out on my own.
Oh man.
So
I'm going to tell you what. I mean, what I don't get is where people can't get the connect. I mean, everything is connected. And knowledge, just because we have been taught, particularly in the Western mindset, that these are somehow, bad things. Yet, what you have just explained here is exactly how a person's life path can be much more focused, much more purposeful.
Yeah. And then look at this. Okay. So just to these are the houses. All right. So, and I have this all color coded so you can easily understand quickly because we're going with Aries, right? So Aries is number 1. Now you have to understand this is the basics. Once you get into the nakshatras, you have to learn the nakshatra rulers. So in Ashwini's ruled by Ketu. So it's no longer just Mars, like red. Okay. Because Aries is the natural ruler is Mars. Aries is the first sign. It's the head. So that's the first house, the natural. So what is the first house? It's, your action. It's taking action. It's basically, so this all is correlating. So you basically you code things with these patterns. So, if somebody's moon is in the first house, there definitely can be aggressive. If it's in a Swani, they're going to act a certain way. If it's in Barini, they're going to be a completely different person.
Now, can you feel the energy, Heidi, when you're doing a reading and you're pulling out the chart on an individual? Because I'm sure that would lend itself even more to what you're already seeing and that is a projection, I'm imagining, from that individual, right?
Well, so I think for me, fortunately enough, I think that's why I always question, am I some kind of weird thing that fell off of a spaceship? Because I don't get into people's energy. I can block that out like a blockade, and I do.
Interesting.
And I don't have those kind of feelings I could go and read the most psychotic people charts all day long, and it's not going to affect me whatsoever. It's almost like it's
disciplined.
Yeah. And
discipline.
I would never let that get in my way because I personally think some of those people that need help, maybe they just could have had an astrology reading that would have changed their whole lives. So
I'm convinced of it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why, spirit tip is, this is what it's about right here.
Mm-hmm. So when you analyze a business chart, let's talk about business. So I'm really getting into learning businesses and financial astrology. And I've been doing it with interest rates, with real estate, with mortgages, and now cryptocurrencies. So, the big ones for analyzing companies, you always have to look at the second house. That's very important, which is the gains, it's money, it's savings, it's the money. It's like the balanced money though. The fourth house is money over and beyond the needs. So anybody that has a really strong fourth house is going to have more than beyond their means. They're going to have nice cars. They're going to have luxuries, homes. Second house strong is going to just give you more, to eat. It's more of your food and what you need to live. So then you also, for the fifth house, it's definitely people that are you have to look at the fifth house for stock, business, gambling, taking risks. So this is it's like intelligence. It's like that savvy business person. How I know that all these houses really do work is because I was in the mortgage industry for 2 years. I charted loan officers and presidents of companies when I would recruit them. And then when I was doing mortgages and saw all the patterns. Okay. So it's profound. Like whether they're dealing with money, the people in the mortgage business are 100% different than the people in real estate. 100%. Real estate agents are like cops. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's just amazing. And because the people in the mortgage business, they're all about the numbers. They do not care. So what do they have? They've got planets in Rohini. They've got planets in Kritika. They've got planets in the more action, like judgmental, that is going to analyze things, Kritika and Swati and Libra. And, and a lot of Cancer, a lot of people that have Cancer. Well, guess what? Cancer, moon, it rings a bell, moons.
Wow. Okay.
So there's all these weird things you have to look at. Yeah,
it's not weird. No, that is strategic intel. That's what that is. Seriously, Heidi, that is. I mean, this is life changing. Not only for, let's say, we're talking business right now, but I could see this into relationships, marriages, family dynamics, individual life paths.
Yeah, it's in your chart. Everything's in your chart. And that's what the beauty of this is, because it's not all about the money, and it's not all about, it's what you're here, your karma, your path, the situations in your life that you were stuck with that, you can either choose to accept and not let them, ruin you, or you can learn from them, or you can make the best of them. Because for me, it was hard to understand, why did this happen to me? I just wanted to know why. And it wasn't certain answers that I was taught in my life growing up with religion weren't good answers for me. That wasn't okay. This was facts. This is proof. This is a fact. And I've tested it. I'm not somebody that's naive and gullible that just believes any hocus pocus nonsense. That's for sure. I had to study this for years. I tracked this for my own benefit, not for anybody else's, because I wanted to understand what was going on. It just so happened I met Rex, and that's why, I'm doing this now. But it is my passion. And I was looking at astrology 24/7, studying astrology, probably 10 to 12 hours a day since 2013. Hardcore.
Oh, amazing. Can I ask them? So, do we get ourselves into a state of mind, in a presence of soul, where we allow negativity to so saturate us that alters our course in our life paths? Because it would seem, go ahead.
I think we can, yeah.
Yeah, because when I was looking at that and I was reading all the different things of the negativity, it occurred to me that if a person, by just society, in their environment, their social structures, etc., and I think it's a problem with most people, is that they're soul sick. And they have such a negative view of themselves that no matter what their life path should be by their birthday, etc., that the negative influx would alter your decision, for instance.
Yeah. Until you're aware of it. I mean,
yeah,
that's how I look at it. If you're aware of it and these things that are going to subconsciously always be there, always.
Yeah.
And you're aware, you can make way better decisions, or you can at least think again. Look, I mean, I'm a perfect example. I have Mars in Scorpio with K2 in the first house. This is intense. This is extreme. I struggle with this daily. Why? Because first of all, when you're growing up, and wherever the nodes sit, K2 and Rahu, this is your life lesson. So they always sit 7. This is, in my opinion, the most important part of your astrology chart is where K2 and Rahu, the north node and south node, sit. Why? Because they are what you're here to learn, the obstacles that you're going to have, the problems that you're always going to deal with, no matter what, doesn't matter what it is. So they're either in like the 1st and 7th house, which that's what I have. So I have this influencing my life 24/7, all day long there's no questions. So, it's in the 2nd and 8th, it's in the 3rd and so it's always 7 houses apart, 4th and 10th. We've got the 6th and 12th. And this is really wherever K2 sits, it's what you already achieved. It's what you are great at. Okay. You've already mastered this in a past life to an extent, and you're here to learn the Rahu lesson. K2 and Rahu got chopped off. This is what forms eclipses. It's the shadows. It's not a planet. It's a shadow. So, and it's the moon. So shadows of the moon.
The Rahu moon that they talk about at eclipse that we can't see, that comes in which I think personally, Heidi, when I was up there at the eclipse up in Wyoming, we were on literally the line. It was just, but there was a powerful impact on that.
For sure.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
And in India, they stay away from full moons, new moons, eclipses. They are in their house meditating, cleansing. They don't eat food that's been sitting too long. They do not look at this stuff as benefits. Now I do believe they're a little superstitious sometimes, and they take it to an extreme.
Well, can I just say something? Mm-hmm. Everyone in our company that we were when we went up there, all of us got sick.
Oh, wow.
That afternoon when we got back from Wyoming back here to Denver, even our dog was sick.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a very strange experience. That's all I can say, Miss Heidi. It was definitely different. So what we got here? So
this is look at Rahu and K2. Okay. These are what I'm talking about. So Rahu and K2, what you're here to learn, this karmic lesson: shadow, secret behavior, passion, explosion, innovation, extreme gains, fame, addictions. You can read this stuff, and you can see there's specific nakshatras that are ruled by Rahu. So these particular nakshatras cause this kind of chaos. Rahu is their rulership. So if you have planets in Ardra, Swati, or Sattvisha, you're going to have more tendencies of Rahu. Okay, wherever this is sitting. So if you have a moon conjunct Rahu, or your moon is in one of these nakshatras, it's definitely a little more turbulent. Okay, K2 is more, Rahu's more explosions. K2's more, I would say, secrets and terrorists. Okay, so it's more manipulating behind the scenes, and it's because, as you can see, it's isolation, loss, moksha. And K2's more of the spiritual side of the two, but they both 100% cause problems. Okay. And I've got the problem in my first house, conjunct Mars in Scorpio. So every astrology reading I've ever had was horrible. It was violent, crazy, because the 9/11 terrorist attacks happened with Mars conjunct K2 in Scorpio. What
really?
Do you think?
Wow.
So that's what people think. And I will say that anger has been there, not on that level, but where I've gotten that frustrated and so what I struggle with, where I was getting at, is when I get in situations that make me on the defense, I get mad and I shake, and it's hard. It's really tough for me to keep my composure, but I have to. I can do it in real estate all day long. I can put that act on and I'm fine. But when it comes to what I believe and my thoughts and how much effort I've done on this, and I'm doing this, and you try putting yourself out here on these channels, and half the people in here couldn't do it. Okay. Yeah. And take beatings, but they can sit here and talk all the smack they want because they're not doing it.
Yeah.
And it's tough.
When you talked about that energy, it's amazing how I'm much more aware of it, because you can get into a situation where you have a choice. It would appear to be, if you took the offensive approach, right? And that allows a certain negative energy to rush in, and then the words start, and then the emotions begin to build, where at that critical point, no understanding this about yourself. I could look at that and say, no, I'm going to go ahead. Instead, I'm going to emanate out the positive. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And because another thing that's great for is detectives, CIA, spies. That's why I did so great in criminal justice and
I can see
corrections.
that.
Yeah. I'm
I
like,
tell
I'm
you
a
what.
wannabe cop, you know, I'm in my car listening to police scanners, like trying to scare people off. Oh, this is so funny.
You
It's true though.
definitely sea level material. You want to do a couple little readings for some of the people here?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so let's open it up. What do you need?
Okay, so this is very important, and you need your month, day, year, city, location, all of them. So exact time, location, and please, like if you're from the a different country and you know do it in reverse, so spell it out. It would be nice. I'll give you an example. My birthday, September 12th, 1984, 1338 or 1:38 p.m. I know them both. You can write it AM or PM or do the military time. City, state, location, country.
All right, so you can imagine, folks, that we'll only begin to get a couple of these in, obviously. So, all right, I'm going to stop at David Castle. Let's start with you,
We
my
don't have
friend.
his city.
We need your city. Can you see him?
Yeah, I saw that, but we don't have his city.
Okay, we need a city.
There we go. Brendan. There's one.
Okay.
There's a full-fledged everything here.
All right, so Brendan, you're going to be the first on here. And be patient with us, folks. I mean, it gets crowded.
10. Okay, so, and I'll let you guys see what I'm looking at, just so you can see that, you know, this is, I'll just share it for a second so you can see what on, do you guys see you don't see my screen, do you, Wayne? No.
No, not yet. No.
All right, so 10/10/1964, 15/26,
Oh,
and
wow. Look at this, folks.
okay.
I love this.
And this is what I decode, like, and this is, you know, so this is why these aren't, when you get a reading with me, a real reading, they're an hour long. I get into like, that's why I have you fill in on my website what I need, like what you want to talk about, because you could see, you know, I have to just tell you something quickly here that stands out to me. Okay. So which I will do, but you know, to dig deep into these to tell you what exactly, there's a lot of investigation that goes on. And for instance, there is charts within charts. So this is wealth chart. This is your D4 chart. This is your D6 health, career, children, spouse, end all, tell all. So there's a lot of charts within charts. Okay, it breaks down these houses into, there's dashas, there's strength of planets. There's so many things to really go through. It's not just, this is the chart you turn into. These are significators. You have to look at the strengths. These are the nakshatras. But these right here, so everybody can see, are the most important things, in my opinion, in your chart. Okay, Aquarius, Chitra, Denista, Jesa, Aslacia, Hasta, Critica, Maga, Denista. Okay, these right here. This is how like I can really sum up charts pretty quickly on the fly and just give some good key personality traits and what you're going to struggle with.
Okay.
So your chart in, you know, in what is it? In Western astrology, you probably thought you were a Libra, I would say. And you might have been like, I don't really believe in the Libra. I'm not that Libra-ish because you don't really have planets in Libra either. So you have more planets in Virgo. Vedic astrology kind of shifts your sun sign back one sign. It's about a sign behind. So I could change this right now and see what you are in Western. You can do that stuff with this. This is with this astrology. Look at all these different calculations. Hold on. There we go. There's all these different types of, you know, ways you can calculate this. You want to learn any way you have any different way you can use here. Okay, but we're going to use it the normal way that I use. So, okay, this person is an Aquarius rising sign. Your first house, your rising sign. This is why your time is so important. It's your first house. It's basically the most, in my opinion, one of the most important parts. This is why your time is so important, because this is going to be your first house, your life path. Your first house is your ascendant, it's your head, it's your body, what you're here to do. It's, basically the ship you're driving this life. So how you're going to have your personality be, it's your soul's purpose. It's like the life you chose in this life. So as an Aquarius with Saturn in the first house, this is strong. Why? Because Aquarius, you have a strong Saturn. Look at this, 554 points. Why? Because it's in a good place. What Saturn rule, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, so he's happy. Okay. But what that does is this person is very disciplined, hard worker. I'm not going to say you don't have your ups and downs. You like to do things by the own beat of your own drum. It's definitely somebody that, likes their solitude, their space, wants to help change the world, but wants to do it in their own creative way. Now, when you have Saturn in the first house, you're going to take on a lot of responsibility. You're going to be very disciplined. You're going to kind of grow up fast. You'll look good when Saturn's in your first house. You'll age well and you'll have longevity, more than likely. Now, that all needs to be analyzed, but this is the way you act. So when you act as an Aquarius, it's all about, freedom and space. And sometimes sometimes are the hardest to be in relationships because they like to flee the scenes. Like they want to be your best friend. They like to be best friends, but sometimes they can't have too much. They don't like to feel trapped. Okay. Because there's some Uranus to them too. And I know. So also, so that's what it does. So it makes somebody a hard worker. It makes somebody, take on a lot of disciplined tasks, and they're very dependable, reliable. All right. But then you have to see, and Saturn's a ruler, it sits in the first house. So like I said, then you've got to go with the moon. That's the next most important sign. Moon is in Scorpio, Jesta. Okay. So this person's a Scorpio moon, a lot different than he acts, or he or she. Moon is in Jesta, Scorpio, and in a way, you might think how I act. Okay. So Scorpio's the way you act. You don't trust many people. You're very passionate. Now, this is in your house of career. So this has a lot to do with career, fame, status, politics, leadership skills. So this is very important to you. I would say it makes you very focused on your work, on your career, and whether you struggle in it or not, because the moon can be debilitated in Scorpio, they say, but you really are able to understand people's emotions at work. And I would say sometimes this is people in the finance industry a lot, the engineers, somebody that's analyzing things a lot, whether it's crimes, dissecting things, make great managers. They need to be in charge, like great business owners. And then, like I was talking about Rahu and Ketu, you're having some heavy energy happening to you recently, but you have Rahu in your 5th house, Ketu in the 12th, or in the 11th. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5th and 11th. So what that does is it can give you some issues with siblings if you have any siblings. Okay. If you don't have siblings, this will give you issues in your social networks, groups, and, people that you hang out with. It will give you kind of people that you have to weed out all the time. You might like your space. You might like your privacy. You're a great investigator. You're great at networking. You'll be a master at this house. So money will come in, but money will go out. It can be sometimes an imbalance of money every once in a while. Big wins, big gains. This is somebody that's really good in, I'd say, money, stock, business. This is somebody that needs to have their own business. That's for sure. Jupiter in the 4th and Taurus, think about money a lot. This is great for real estate, selling things, selling property, land deals. This could definitely be somebody good in real estate too, because you have Jupiter in the 4th. You could have some issues with children. I'd be curious to know if you have children. This is where it gets real intense, but I'm not going to go that. I'm kind of keeping it to you're going to be attracted to attractive women that like to spend money, that are materialistic. Okay. It's just the facts. All right. And maybe you might spend money on women.
You see, this is what I'm talking about, the hidden landmines along the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Or just a very attractive, younger, beautiful wife you might have, that's very creative, that's very dynamic, blah, blah, blah. So Then you also have Mars in the sixth, so you can definitely have some issues with uncles, siblings, not siblings, brothers, siblings. A lot of times uncles and that type of thing. Also male, you'll have male people that are just jealous because Mars is in your sixth house in Aslacia. Now this is somebody also that could work in a hospital. They could work but you might have a lot of run-ins with males. Okay, 7, 8. But you know what? This is somebody I think that's probably does something with finances. And if not, you'd be really good at it. Trading, markets, that kind of thing. But you're very psychic. You're strong Saturn, strong Jupiter, analyze things. You're kind of harsh. You kind of get your point across pretty intensely. Transits, there's way more, but this is all I can give you just quickly.
Yeah.
You're having a huge transit when it comes to Saturn on K2 in the 12th. You're going to go into isolation mode. It was already tough for the past year and a half. Now it's going to loosen up a little bit, but K2's now in your 12th, blasting out enemies, hidden enemies, like that could be behind the scenes. So watch out. This literally, somebody could steal something from you. You have to be careful of somebody stealing money from you. Now, this is a time to go introspected and really, meditate, spend time alone, and it will be the best thing for you. And money could come in. It could be good for money, but watch out. Like I said, somebody could also steal money. Mars in the 10th, this is short-term transit, but this will be great. I think this is going to help your career. It could definitely bring some opportunities that come in your way. Ninth house, your beliefs are shifting. You might dabble, you might travel more, you might travel to foreign countries, foreign lands. So hold on.
Wow. All right. I got Pam. I'm just blown away. I can't wait to see this one. All right. Pam, her birth date is 02/15/1956. Born 6:13 p.m.
What? Sorry, one more time you said?
6:13 p.m. What would that be? 18. Buffalo, New York.
In 2/15/56, you said?
Yes.
Okay. So that person, honor your beauty. Even though you are a guy, be self-worth, okay? Okay.
Thank you for the donation. I just saw that in there. Heidi, you're bringing me fortune. I mean, it's just, thank you.
Is that guy in here? Did he respond or say anything? I'd be curious to know.
Let's see. Open-minded versus the sheeple. 96. Thank you so much.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do for this person, just because this helps me on the fly. All right, so I'll show it real quick, but I'm not gonna hold everybody's charts here. I just wanted everybody to see what I was looking at, so you saw I wasn't like reading a screen that had a bunch of words on it.
Mhm.
All right, this is Pam. Okay, 2/15/56.
I love this.
1813, Buffalo, New York. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. All right. So Pam, you're a Leo ascendant with Jupiter in the first house. At some point of your life, I guarantee you wanted to be like an actor, do something in the creative field, using that creative self-expression. You have a very powerful presence. When you walk into a room, people are going to naturally be drawn to you. You don't have to say a word, and you probably don't even care. You just have that throne-like type of when you have that charisma about you, that leadership, that teacher, that guru, that manager, that people will follow you, okay? And people want to be around you and look up to you for advice, wisdom, higher knowledge. You have it. All right, you have Jupiter in the first, okay? So what that can do is bring, obviously, success, fame to you, leadership stuff. Now, Jupiter's not all great and fancy, though. I mean, your Jupiter is very strong, though. So I think this is probably a very optimistic person that is, type of person that's, somebody nice to be around. I need more of you in my life, more of that type of, that positive energy. Now, don't get me wrong. You have a heavy conjunction in your chart in the fourth house, Rahu, Mars, in Saturn. This is tough. This is fourth house. So definitely could be some issues with the mother. Not necessarily, but there was something possibly with the mother, separated, could have been your home life growing up, your home that you lived in. There was some chaos, abuse, could have just been hard. I'm not going to go there. We'll just leave it at, you get my point. But this is phenomenal for investigations. It's what I have, just reversed a little bit. You have Mars and Rahu and Saturn. So this makes you a natural researcher. They can dig deep, search, and you also make a phenomenal real estate person, because I said real estate people make great cops, and they're really good because they have a really strong Mars, because Mars is property, land, deals. So you would make a good real estate person as well. Selling real estate, property, land. And you're a Leo ascendant. Once again, you'd make double whammy. You'd make a really good real estate person. Mercury in the 6th. You could work with finances too. It could be finances. It doesn't always need to be, real estate. It could be finances, oil, engineers, like engineer mind. You're good at putting things together and researching. Mercury in the 6th. You're strategic, detail oriented. You like all the facts. You are good at analyzing things. You're probably a hard worker when it's something you like. You have this very practical business chart, but then your moon is in Revati, which is completely different. My moon's in Revati. We might act a certain way, but 100% we're probably the most creative, want to escape this place type of people that there are. You can get walked on because you're too nice. Your moon is conjunct Venus, which is extremely artistic, extremely musical. You probably connect with music beats that to a different, like on a different level where most people can't, relate. This is a good way to escape. Drums, like beats more so. It also makes you really psychic. Extremely psychic. It's in your 8th house. So sometimes this can make you, he said, Wayne, please let Heidi know how spot on that was for me. Good. See? What I like. Yeah. Good. Thanks. That's good to hear. And thank you.
Good to hear. Thank you. And I want to know, give us your feedback.
Yeah.
We're not afraid of this.
No. And now, so this person is like very spiritual, very connected, very nice deep down inside, and acts nice. Like this is a good person. Had some issues growing up, maybe a little bit they had to deal with. But artistic, nice to be around. But you're psychic, and I'm not going to say that your life was easy breezy with Moon and Venus conjunct in the 8th house. That's hard. There have been secrets. 8th house is control, surrender, scandals, manipulation, sex, chronic illness, CIA, FBI spies, addictions, taxes, disgrace. So when you have Moon and Venus there, your Moon can escape and want to be addictions. It can have issues with addictions, especially Jupiter in the 1st house. It can make you want to indulge. So that's something that you have to look out for, because you could have an addictive personality. Doesn't mean it's going to be bad. Could make you just very psychic. Okay, but if you don't tap into the psychic, that diving deep spiritual stuff, you might go the other way. This is how you make those decisions. Wow. And your K2's in Rohini. This is great. You have good things coming up, just so you know.
Excellent. Excellent.
And transits real quick. Okay, Rahu in the 12th, you got to watch out for hidden enemies, watch out for things. It also could bring things up with the health, so you got to be very cautious. You might move. You could be thinking about moving. There could be some, I can't tell you what that is right now. That needs to be really investigated. But, do some introspecting, meditation. You can time travel in dreams and stuff. Like, what's that called? When you...
Astral projecting?
Thank you, yes. And you'll have awesome opportunities right now for your 3rd house using your creativity. So make sure you really, really, really focus on that, because awesome opportunities, then Jupiter will go into your 4th house and bring them to fruition and make some money. Okay. What else?
Love this.
Okay. Do we have another one?
Yes. I have David, April 7th, 1969. Born at, I think it's 19:20 p.m. That would be 7:20 p.m. Ashland, Kentucky.
Okay, so 4769. All right. Whoa, this is one of those charts. Okay, so 47, 1969, 1920. Okay, I'm just gonna show a chart. You got to see this, because this is a heavy chart. Now, it doesn't mean it's bad, it's heavy. So there's a big focus. You can see when you have 4 planets conjunct somewhere, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in the 6th house, this can be heavy. Now, what does that mean? That it can mean a multitude of things. So we're going to leave it, stop that share. But whoa, look at this. It says 0 degrees of a Libra.
What does that mean?
I've never had one of these in my entire life at this time.
Really?
No, but this is where nakshatras are so important. Okay. So you could be a Libra, you could be a Virgo. It really depends. This is a chart that would need to be heavily researched prior, and I would ask you a lot of questions to make sure that that birth time was right. Not that it's not recorded right, but that it was recorded correct on your, the doctors didn't make a mistake and you were born. Because if you were born 1 minute earlier, it would change this whole chart big time. But moral of the story is, okay.
Wow. All right. Well, listen, I would just encourage you to maybe get in touch with Heidi for a full reading on that.
I'm going to give you 2 things, though, that I want you to know. Once, like I said about my moon being in Revati and very creative, music, talents, all that kind of stuff, that's for you on another level. So you have that Albert Einstein type of chart. Like, I hope you're using it on that. Okay. That's like that. You have to be dealing with that kind of stuff. Creativity all the way. There's no other thing for you than creativity. Now, you also have a moon in the 3rd, a great writer, creative writer, music talents, like you won't believe. And then you have K2 and Jupiter conjunct in the 12th. What does that mean? That's a little tough. So I'm not going to really go there, but it's a moksha thing. So there can be a lot of releasing, and there's a lot of criticizing though, because it's in Virgo. So the moksha can be you want to hang on to it, analyze things, hold on to things a little too much, but this is a chart that needs to be like analyzed before I start rambling things off. But I will pull you just like a real quick card that will give you some good advice for now. Trust your vibes. That's what it says.
Trust your vibes. Wow. Okay. Okay. I have another one behind this one. Thank you for going a little bit over, Heidi. This is.
Oh, no, I can go longer. I'm
okay.
in the front. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. David, I would definitely give you check out with Heidi. It's worth it, my friend. Listen, if she says that she has never seen that.
Well, I've seen it, but not like,
yeah.
It's not, I've seen a chart like this, many of them, but it's hard. I don't want to say something on the fly and it be wrong, because it just could be health issues. This could be somebody that was in an accident. This could be somebody that had a health problem, or that, that I didn't research it enough. So I don't want to assume it's one thing and it not be.
Do you want to do another one?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Aurora. 1981, born 1:08 p.m. And I'm going to spell this out. Towanda, New York. Tonawanda, New York.
I found it. Tonawanda?
Yes, Tonawanda.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's up there in the Adirondacks or somewhere.
All right.
I don't know.
So Pisces ascendant. Pisces are, okay, Pisces ascendant, your moon is in Gemini and Arc. This chart's a lot like Jenny Moonstone a little bit. Okay, you have some Jenny Moonstone going on in your chart. So as a Pisces ascendant, makes you extremely creative, extremely like mystical, spiritual, know things, psychic, intuitive, that type of thing. It's in the nakshatra of Uttara Bhadra. This is a nakshatra that is all about psychic intuition, tarot cards, spells, not witchcraft, but like magic a lot of the time. So, definitely very creative, and definitely have some dark side, understand the dark side very well. Doesn't mean you're dark. It just means you have knowledge of it. And that's good, because you need to have knowledge of it. If you don't, you'll get blindsided. So it's very, very good for that. It definitely is somebody that, can have a lot of like some of the dark energy can really kind of step on your toes. You have to make sure you learn that you have to make sure to weed out the bad, take what you need from it, and kind of um, focus that energy and make sure it doesn't consume you in a bad way. Because this is like, say you have you don't have a lot of planets in this. This isn't even a big deal in your life, I'm sure. But, you know, you have this type of chart that you have 2 planets in Virgo. I'm sure it doesn't do this, but this type of nakshatra, this type of planet, and what this nakshatra, what it can do, it can make somebody, you know, learn magic and put spells on people. Okay, so you have that power. Just so you know. And what rule, this is first lord of this goes into your 8th. This is very psychic, very good at knowing secrets, digging for secrets, knowing the truth, knows a lot of dark mystical knowledge, could even be religious. You know, this could have been religious at some point of your life. Your moon is in Ardra in the 4th house, so there can be turbulence, battle, sometimes with the mother. The way you think is, you know, this is somebody that's great for IT, technology, understanding weather patterns, and you'll really be interested in that. Engineer mind type of thing. Somebody that's really like the brains behind the computers and technology and wanting to analyze all that kind of stuff. Now it's also destruction. It's in the nakshatra of Ardra, ruled by Rahu. So Rahu shakes up things, right? It takes it shakes to destroy, to make things better. So what it does, so, you know, whether it's recycling, rebuilding things, it could be that. It also could be, you know, rebuilding technology. It could be that. Just giving you examples. Rahu in the 5th, Purnavasu. This is really, really good for bouncing back. Can give you some issues with children. You might have, I'd be curious to know if you have children, because this can kind of make children come late or tough to have children, possibly, not saying for sure, but it could. You have Venus conjunct K2. This is the tough one. So what this does is you're always going to be searching for love, relationships, romance, something better, something new, something can give you some issues with like dabbling with a little too much. Like, you know, it's hard to fulfill that sex needs. It's hard to fulfill that pleasure. And sometimes what will happen then, that you'll be like, okay, well, what's next? What's better? Until you realize like nothing's better, because it's a karma thing you have in your chart. You either have to accept that life isn't all about what you think it's going to be, or you will be displeased. And every time you get married or every time you're in a relationship, you're going to get bored and you're going to want something new. Now, it's great for money. It's great for money. It's like you want money, but then you don't care about money. It's like this weird imbalance. It's also very psychic, where you can connect to other realms and stuff. Like you can see dead people, and very psychic. Like most psychic people, they can talk to dead people. They can paranormal, Venus conjunct K2 all the way.
I swear we need enlightenment centers. I mean, what I get through is this, that, and not to interrupt on the reading, but so Heidi, so many of these people have this psychic ability. It's in their natural houses. All right, I'll let you continue.
Yeah. But then here, the problem with this person is either relationships are one of your problems. Like you'll get into relationships with like aggressive people possibly, or make you like second guess, that judge you. Could be intense relationships, like, or maybe your husband or wife is, you know, just intense. Like an engineer, it depends. If you're a woman, you know, it goes one way. If you're a male, it just depends.
Yeah.
Intense partnerships, Mars and Saturn and Virgo, they're probably a little critical. You'll be attracted.
That just sounds critical.
Yeah.
I just heard that. I went Mars, Mercury, and I'm going, okay, I know those two are intense planets.
Yeah.
All right.
My advice, like, this is funny. Don't hate, meditate. So I think you need to meditate. And transformation. So don't be afraid of the change and the shifts that are about to happen and that you're going through. Yeah.
All right. This is Colleen. Colleen was born on July 29th, 1964, 7:20 a.m. And she was born in Elmira, New York. Yeah, it's odd. 3 people that we've done. I've just been picking these as random.
How do you spell Elmira?
Elmira, I believe.
Okay.
Elmira.
Heights, Elmira. I think it's Elmira.
All right, I'll stop the singing. No karaoke tonight.
7:29:64, 2:20 a.m. Right?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yep, that's correct.
All right. You
Well, you
don't.
see, I pay Heidi respect. I call her yes, ma'am. You see,
I said you don't have to call me ma'am. Oh.
howdy, ma'am.
You know what drives me nuts? When I moved to Maryland, people say here like Miss Heidi, and I'm like, I don't like that. Like Miss Heidi.
Miss Heidi.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very provincial thing.
Well, when I was younger, I had to call people by their last names, like Mr. Steiger, Mr.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
never was like, oh, Miss Debbie. I think it sounds like a dance teacher, freaks me out.
Sometime I'll tell you my joke about the Southerner woman who went up to Boston. She was sitting there and very friendly, and she walked up to this woman waiting for the train, and she said, "Well, where are you from?" The woman from Boston looked at her and said, "Well, where I'm from, we never end a sentence in a preposition." Well, the woman from the South kind of looked down and looked back up to her and said, "Well, pardon me, miss. Where are you from, bitch?"
Oh, that's good.
All right, let's go on with Colleen. There we go.
Oh, that girl goes. Doll face cake says, "That's what I would call you, Miss Heidi."
It's just the Southern way.
We're not that south here in Maryland.
Pat Conroy. Who remembers Prince of Tides, huh?
I don't.
You don't remember? Oh, well, don't go see that. It was a great movie, but very depressing. Anyway, go on with Colleen. How are we doing with Colleen?
Right. Colleen's a Taurus ascendant, so she's got more of a money chart. She's all about the money and the Benjamins here. She thinks about money. She thinks about pleasure, nice things. Okay, Taurus is all about stability. They want to feel the reason why, like, I think they get a bad rap because they are materialistic, because they want money, they want nice things, but really what it is because they want to feel secure. They want that financial freedom. They know that they don't like a lot of change. They like slow and steady wins the race. It's Taurus is the ram. It's definitely an interesting sign, but you also have 3 planets in your second house of money, speaking, fame. So guarantee you are one intense salesperson. You can speak like nobody's business. You can, draw in the crowds, and you can move the crowds, and it can be aggressive. Like it can get you in trouble too. This is somebody that can make a phenomenal attorney, that can really stand up and speak up for people that are, but this is also money. So your second house is your speech, your money. So it's money can come in, go out. There can be some issues, some instabilities, imbalances, because you have Venus and Mars and Ra. You can spend money easily. You're a Pisces moon, so very psychic, very intuitive. Like I just said about the person prior, that you have the same moon as the ascendant. So about the spells and about the, doing tarot and doing magic, very important. Like your moon, you're very psychic. So when it's on somebody's ascendant, it's not as, so much psychic, it's how they act. You have this really psychic moon. Okay. So very, very like intense psychic person in the 11th house, but it's once again, it's in the money house. You probably do well. You probably have had a lot of success, but it could be like your chart's pretty strong. You're in a Venus Dasha. This is good stuff, but
I love this. This.
Yeah. And look, Wheel of Fortune, like once again, that's great. So I would say for you, I'd be curious. I don't want to say it out loud, but hold on. Peaceful warrior. Yeah. Didn't I say you can be kind of harsh with the speech? This person. So this person can be one of those aggressive speakers that's so aggressive that has that can get them in trouble. You're a good writer though. You have those beliefs. They could be very stuck, very critical. Like, you could be stuck in a religious beliefs or, just that type of thing, or have been. Not doesn't mean you are now. But you definitely have that. But you're really creative too. Once again, business, creative with money. You're a healer, Saturn in the 10th, inside of Bisha, definitely a healer. So it's a lot of positive things too. I'm sure you've balanced and changed a lot through the years. Because another thing, you look at a Navamsha chart at a certain age. So, this is where I don't have time to do this now. This is more of your struggles up until 40 and what you ascend into. So that's what this is. So.
You want to do one more?
One more. Yeah.
Okay. This is Donna. Donna was born August 1st, 1963, 6:30 p.m. in Hannibal, Missouri.
I love that city.
It's,
Yeah. It cracks me up because Hannibal, I think of Hannibal Lecter.
I always think of Mark Twain and Tom Sawyer. That's,
Right, that's where we're a little different way.
yeah, I know. It tells the age difference, but I still see Huck Finn out there, with the fishing poles. So anyway,
How do you spell that?
Hannibal is Hannibal.
Okay. And I'm just curious to know if this person just guessed that time, because when you give a
6:30 p.m.
yeah, 6:30, that makes me nervous because that means you might have guessed. Maybe not.
I don't know.
Hannibal, Missouri, right?
Yes.
So I'm not going to move. Okay. All right. This. You have a heavy chart. Okay. You have K2 conjunct Moon in your first house. Now, this is where you would need to know, once again, if this was your time, because this could change everything. But you would not. This particular thing may not change. You are easily able to detach. Like, you'll get hurt, you get cold, you can remove things. Easier said than done. I mean, but people might think you're very cold because you can detach from pretty much anything. Moon conjunct K2, issues with the mother. And if you don't have issues with your mother and you don't have a separation, or maybe it's like you could always have an affinity to her and like she could have been your friend, but you had a void of a motherly feeling. And also, like, if you feel like you're being you like your space, your creativity comes out when you're alone. Everything's alone. So this K2 Moon is like having K2 in your first house, like me. So it's tough. Okay, but it's easy in a way, because what it does, you can detach from anything. It's a wonderful gift. Somebody hurts you, it might hurt you for a second, but then it's done. You don't care, and we can easily get over things in seconds. Now, and it also can make you sick of things in seconds, and it can make you constantly looking for something better. That's one of the bad things. Like, for depending on where this is sitting, and if this is really in your first and seventh house, you're just as bad in relationships as me. You have as many problems as I do. And you'll get into relationships with the wrong people that will make you feel like you can't use your gifts, and you have to be something you're not, and then boom, it explodes, or you cheat on them and you look for something better. So if that's not you, I mean, it's pretty intense. So that's the best way I can say it. It's in Sagittarius. So this is a lot about beliefs, and Sagittarius, this is a phenomenal investigator, somebody that can dig deep to the surface, somebody that can dig deep to the roots. The more you dig deep, the more you find yourself, the more you learn about yourself, the more you heal yourself. This is one of those charts. You have Jupiter in Revati. So like music, mystical. I just need to know if this person is this time, because I can't really do much.
Yes. She said yes.
Is she relating to this?
I think so.
Okay. All right. So the way you think, digging deep underground to research things. Now, this makes people like really good at healing people that have emotional problems, because, typically when you go through so many problems and stuff, and you have to learn this way about you, then you're a natural healer, you're a natural psychic, you're a natural detective. You need to be doing research, dissect, like, you're not going to be happy in any other job unless you're using that detective work.
Wow.
Okay. Like, it's going to be hard for you. So spiritual stuff, spiritual pursuits, moksha, you got to help people. It's like one of those. We have those karmic charts that have to do the work. We can handle the hard things. Like I was saying earlier with Wayne, we have the block. You're like me. You can block anything. Nothing's getting in your way. That's the beauty of this. You can also, like, you can detach from anything. Now you also have a lot of emotional stuff too. And right now you have Saturn in your first house. So emotionally, this can really be a little stressful, because this is a new you, a big change, a new cycle. It can do things to the health and everything too. So make you tired. It can make you drained a little bit. And, you had Saturn in your 12th, now it's in your first. So this is definitely not the most like woohoo time. It can make you feel a little sad and depressed here and there. But as long as you know that it's just a transit, it's 2.5 years, but it's kind of long.
It's just only 2.5 years. So remember,
but it's only 2.5 years. But I'm going to tell you something. The best, when I had this in my first house, I started doing this, and all this came to fruition. So
Wow.
all I can say is, whoa, that thing came busting out. Justice. That's like justice comes out. That's good. I mean, that it's
That's
up.
cool.
When I pick upright cards, it's positive. Maybe there's like, okay, so another thing with K2, issues with relationships, like I said, the first person I did on here, I said K2 in the first. I think I was talking a lot about it, but K2 in the first is going to give you issues in relationships. And you're like your solitude, you like your space, you're selfish, so am I. Don't worry, it's not a bad thing, but you'll have issues with relationships. This person will have their, and if they're not right, you just move on. Or this can make somebody have, people that pass away. You might be happy now in a marriage, but I'm guarantee you've had like 3 shitty ones. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Wow.
Yeah. So you definitely have some hard stuff going on. So
I'll tell you, this is just
new beginnings. Perfect. New beginnings.
wow.
So definitely there was some loss, endings, letting go. Made you feel like that card I just pulled up, wherever it was. Okay. But I promise you, this is new beginnings. I just want to pull this person.
By the way, I love those cards, Heidi.
Let me pull her one more.
Those are like some beautiful cards.
Healer of the ages. You need to,
Wow.
if you are not some sort of healer, you need to do it. 4th chakra, I don't have time to read it, but look, I would look into this. 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael. 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel. We got some chakras going on. And man holding a coin. Money's going to come in. This is good for money. So maybe somebody passed away and there's an ending, and then you're going to get some money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Folks, listen, if you don't get a reading from this special gift, I think, to humanity, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. Heidi, I just can't thank you enough.
Sure.
You're always welcome back. By the way, I want you on the radio show.
Yeah, I'll do it. You just have to ask me.
Okay. How about Thursday?
Thursday can work. Is it 9? 9 o'clock can work.
Yeah, it's actually 10 o'clock your time.
Oh, I could. That's even better. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, don't go after we leave. We'll talk here. All right. Go to her. I left her link to her YouTube channel.
I'm going to put it in the comments right now.
Okay. She's going to put that in there. And like the channel, folks, you need to follow her and Jenny. I put them on many times when I'm working, and I can listen to them in the background. Also, Monday night, Dr. Claudia Albers, physicist, will be joining me, and we are going to be discussing her latest work. This woman is remarkable. She is, in my opinion, one of what I would call the best minds. We're going to learn about a lot of things outside our planet. And so make sure to join. Tuesday, I'm going to be having Sharon on, and I'll be posting that. Heidi, you want to just give yourself any type of shameless plug or promotion? It's your floor.
No, just please, hopefully you'll subscribe to my channel, channel 27.
Y'all really need to do that. Let's get her over. You see, you're growing close to 10,000 now.
Yes, I really want 10,000 because then I can post things. And trust me, you might see me a lot more if I can post, because I can't post on Facebook because I keep my real career and this career completely separate. So,
all right, let's do a campaign to help Heidi Vandenberg over on channel 27.
Yeah.
Let's get her. We did the same thing for Jeff. So we're going to get her over 10,000. Come on, folks. We can do this. Yeah. So we can do this. Listen, everyone. Thank you. This has just been, I've been watching the numbers, and they have just been phenomenal all night. Heidi, a lot of people here. I've been watching some of the comments. Yeah, there are people that I think, as we continue to expand the influence of this community that we're building, and we are building a community. It's one channel that is being connected to the other. We're going to have people who, Heidi, I think are new to the awakening process or are still searching. We were all there.
Yeah.
I will ban someone who disrespects anyone here, but I can also have compassion that the cognitive dissonance that they're having, and anger many times, Heidi, is the natural result of that.
And honestly, if somebody calls me like a devil worshiper, that really doesn't necessarily bother me as much. But to insult my intelligence, like get a reading and then we'll see. That's what I like to say because I came from a religious background. Watch my video. It's on my story and stuff. And the reason how I got into this. So I suggest before, I don't mind when I like to prove that wrong. If I heard astrology was bad when I was religious, I probably wouldn't have studied it. I never heard that. So I got lucky.
Yeah.
But, I learned a lot and I can respect that, some people get really caught up in their beliefs. But unfortunately, it's a lot like finding out there's no Santa Claus. Like I say, it's hurtful. It sucks. We start out as a lie as a kid. So if you don't think that that was a big eye opener to me. So the point is you should really just do your research and your homework. And if you can get some benefit out of this, I promise you it can change your life getting an astrology reading.
I will put my reputation. And I want to say thank you to all the moderators. Mercury Messenger 7, good Lord, all of them that were here with Trisha G. There's just every one of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you again for taking the time out of your day to join us. Again, folks, tomorrow morning here with Jeffrey Doherty, the Christian whistleblower, and our Not Your Normal Sunday Morning show. And trust me, this one tomorrow will be one that will be not your normal. Heidi, big hug to you. Thank you. Let's get Jenny and you on. And I think that would just be a hoot. Be a lot of fun.
She definitely wants to come on. She's a weekday person. She can't do weekends.
Well, we can do this during the week as well. All right, everyone. Have a great evening. Heidi, staying on as I sign off here. Be good to yourselves, and we will talk to you real soon. Bye-bye, folks.